Okay, so we are recording, so y'all need to act civil. All right. So I'm going to go to TCTC, and it's going to automatically, okay, Blackboard. Okay, I got to log out. Oh, that's still got you in there. End session. End session. Turn to login. Okay, I want you. Okay, now.
Still me.
Why won't it take you out? I logged you out.
What about in actual TCTC, like ETC?
Well, I tried that too. End session.
Sign on air.
I might have saved her thing.
Yeah.
How do I unsave it? Don't I have to go through and clear the cookies?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Let me go to history.
More distractions, the better. Gives more time to be lazy.
It's on the.
I don't know that I'd want to experience that. This is him. Exactly.
There we go. Now it should log you out. Okay, now type in your username. One of my students is doing this. And type in your password or your T number, whichever one you use.
What if I've already got it open?
I don't know. Hold on. These microphones are super sensitive, especially when you talk about me. Then I can hear it. All right. So here is her 155. So hit 155 or whatever right there. And there is my Mylab Plus. Now here's where you need to write down some notes. Okay, so make sure you got your notebook out. All right. If you, and since Tri-County wants you to go through Blackboard to justify somebody's job, I guess, they want you to go through Blackboard, so you're going to have to hit Mylab Plus. Hit Mylab Plus. And it's probably going to do, after you hit the Mylab Plus the second time, it's going to go through and spin. Please do it. Good. Look up in the top right-hand corner. Everybody look on my screen. Do you see that little red box up there? You need to right-click on that little red box and hit Load Unsaved Scripts. Then you will be going to Mylab Plus. And I'm going to get you to log in. Okay, it automatically logged her. No.
I don't even have.
Hold on.
When I
Okay. Yeah, that is her. It automatically logged her in.
Go ahead.
So that's what you do. So she is logged in. So now, does she have to go through Blackboard's Crickety? No, she doesn't have to go through. So I'm going to sign her out. And now she is going to type, and I'm just going to go out. I'm going to get out of TCTC, and I'm going to pull up Mylab Plus, and she's going to type in, go ahead and type in your username and password again. And she's not going through Blackboard now. And type in your password.
Is there any way you can change your number to your password?
Yeah, but I don't know. Just learn your password for right now. I mean, learn your T number.
But it works that way.
Okay, type in your T number.
That way I just use it.
Make sure you use a capital T.
It's the same thing regardless, right?
Yeah.
We are finding out that some people have to type in their T number, okay? Either your T number or your password. One of them should work. You finished? Okay.
I gotta do the username thing again. It went back on.
Okay, type in your username. Okay, and there, she's in. So it's either your T number or your password. I don't know why, and I don't, just type in both of them, okay? And remember that little red square, make sure you right click on it. So we've got 2 people done today, just in the last 5 minutes. So it doesn't take 3 or 4 days to get on to Mylab Plus. Even though Blackboard is old and crickety, once you get out, once you Once you get through the initial login through Blackboard, then you can go to the website, save it as a desktop, save your password. Didn't you say that your computer automatically went into it?
Mhm.
It didn't. She didn't even have to log in. Her computer automatically went into it after she logged in the first time. So that's a good thing. Does anybody have any questions? Now we're going to talk about this today, and we're going to talk about your class. We're going to talk about Math 155. We're going to talk about the homework. We're going to talk about all that good stuff. Does anybody have any questions about what I went over about the class? I covered everything so well. Is that what you're telling me?
I think so.
You say what?
I think so.
You think so? Well, thank you. I appreciate your interaction. It always helps to have people interact, instead of being winged on a pickle. All right, so let me close the door. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm trying to log on into my computer, and it's just bringing me here. It's just stopping.
Okay, there's the red square.
I've already did that.
Well, you might have to do 2 or 3 times. Right click on it, and then put enable whatever. Okay, so here is your Mylab Plus.
Got it.
Did it work?
All right.
Did you get it to work? Did it right click and
It shows you.
just take your time, just right click on it, and it should ask you to, what
It's
did it
talking
say?
about pop-ups and redirect.
Yes. Let me see.
So did you go to,
I already went.
Okay, there it is. Hit,
Syllabus and
always probably there. And that should do it.
Do I need to?
And you
Yeah,
click
I
on
got
one
it.
of those.
Give it a second, there it goes.
I just clicked on that and
And it should work, there it
There
goes.
it goes.
Okay, and she had to allow pop-ups. Sometimes it does it a second time, and you have to right-click and allow pop-ups. But after you do it, the initial time, I don't think your computer will ask you again. Okay. Now, I need everybody to get a piece of notebook paper out, or your notebook, and I want you to write down the following things, and leave spaces in between them so you can write down what they do. The first one you want to write down is called assignments. Now, while most of us realize what the word assignments mean, I have to go through and do this. Now, let me ask you a question. Easily, you got 5 people up there. We'll start with the lady in blue on your left. Okay? Have you ever used Mylab Plus before?
No.
Okay, what about the lady at the end of the table, the head of the chairman of the board back there?
no.
Okay, the guy in yellow?
I have.
You have? What class?
It was one of my criminal justice classes last year.
Okay.
Last semester.
And the lady in blue and black?
Oh, yeah, I used it a little bit when I went to Greenville Tech about 5
Okay.
years ago.
And the lady in red?
Nope, never used it.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going through this for a reason. So I want to make sure that I'm not going over this for 10 people that already have used Mylab Plus. Okay. When you go into assignments, I want you to write out to the side, homework, comma, test, comma, final exam. That's where you're going to find all of those. Now, why most of you go, well, golly, anybody knows that. You would be surprised. In fact, I got an email from one of my Math 103 students the other day. Where do I go to start the homework? Okay, so I have to explain stuff like this. Now, under homework, you might want to write down this. I mean, you might want to have a little section for homework because we're going to go through and I'm going to look at one of the homework problems and we're going to talk about it. Click on the homework. Oh, it's not doable, so I'll just go through. I'm not going to, okay, I haven't got the homework ready yet. Okay, I'll do that after class. let me go down. What is study plan? Oh, let's go to chapter contents. Chapter contents is your second thing that you need to write down besides assignment. Chapter contents goes into each chapter and unit, or each chapter and section. So if you want to find out, if you want to do extra problems, if you want to print out your book, if you want to just find the section, and there you have a study plan, which is extra problems. Let's write down study plan. Extra problems for practice, no credit. Study plan is where you click on problems and you just do and do and do for practice. It's not recorded under anything except for your own individual, I did it, I didn't do it, as a check or an X. That's it. It does not count for a grade. It's only for extra problems. Videos on the section. There's your videos for you visual learners. Videos are also in your homework. I'll show you that in just a second. And your e-text. E-text is another word for book online. So if you want to access your book online, you go through chapter contents or e-text. Now I'm going to click on the e-text. And some of you that have a book, you can turn to this same page. You're going to see the same thing. Okay? I clicked on e-text. And if you turn to page 204, if you have a book and you turn to page 204, it will look like the same thing. So you do not have to buy a book for this class, because as soon as you get on Mylab Plus, you have access to the book. You can print out the book by going up here and print it page by page. Print page. Most of your sections, like 5.1, 5.2, are usually 10 or less pages. So that's how you print out your book. You can, bring a book, bring an old book, share a book, steal a book, or you can print out the book, or you don't have to bring a book at all. That's up to you. I don't care. Only thing I require of students is to bring a notebook, bring a pen or pencil, bring colored pencils or highlighters, and make sure you take notes. That's the only thing I require. We don't need calculators in here, because a lot of this is basic math, and you don't need calculators to do basic math. Don't say anything, because I will throw you out for needing a calculator for basic math. Okay? Because I think that once you make it through 12 years of school, if you can't do basic math, then there is something really wrong. Okay? So that's how you do the text. So I'm going to get out of that. And videos, the videos will come up in the homework. So when you click on your homework, it's going to look like this. Eventually. It's going to look like this. Mylab Plus is running really slow, or Tri-County Tech is running really slow. I don't know which one it is. Here you go. So this is what your homework is going to look like. And I'm going to pick this one that has the little graduation cap with it and the little film strip. That means it's got visual learners with it. Okay. Now I want you to write down these 5 things, 5 or 6 things. Right there. Help me solve this. Leave some space. View an example. Leave some space. Video. Leave some space. And so on. Because I'm going to give you some things to write down about these support buttons. Now, let me also say, these buttons are not to take the place of the instructor. These buttons are used for you when you are doing your work. Will it always align with the way I show you how to do things? No. But it may help you think. After I show you how to do it, it may help you think. So I would say probably 90% of the time they use the same things I do, except for this problem right here. They use a factor tree, and I don't use a factor tree. So in the prime factorization, you will see some things a little bit different. Help me solve this. The thing I want you to write beside help me solve this is guided tutorial. Ask questions. Guided tutorial, ask questions. When you do a guided tutorial, how many of you have ever been to a tutoring session where the tutor asks 15 questions before you get to the end of the problem? That's called a guided tutorial. A guided tutorial means that you're going to get a lot of questions and explanations while you're doing the problem. When should somebody hit help me solve this? Usually students use help me solve this when they have never seen the material before. Okay? Let's say you're an algebra student and you've taken Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 and I throw you in a calculus course.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay? You would use this button because you've never seen calculus. Okay? And there are some things in this course that you may have never seen before. So you would use help me solve this. So another word I would put beside help me solve this, never seen before. Material, never seen before. View an example. View an example. What I want you to write beside view an example is review. Thank you. Y'all, students, I just got an email. A student wants me to send in the username for Skype and the YouTube channel that I should go to. What would you tell a student if they asked me for a YouTube channel? Where is my YouTube channel? And what is my username for Skype? What would you tell that student?
Go look at your email.
Thank you.
You'll have to ask the teacher everything.
I need to breathe. I need to breathe. View an example means review. Have you ever been to a tutor where the tutor says, okay, this is 2x, 2x is equal to 4. Divide both sides by 2, x is equal to 2. It didn't ask you a single question. That's just a tutorial. Show me how to do this. Go out beside view an example, show me how to do this. Because that's all it does. It shows you how to do it. Doesn't ask you any questions, doesn't give you any explanation. All it does, show you how to do it. Who uses the view an example? 90% of you probably will use view an example. 1, because a lot of this is a review to you. And 2, it's quicker. Video. Video is for visual learners. I hate to say it, a lot of guys, I don't need directions. Yeah, right, whatever. Christmas morning, the guy put the pipe together, and the wife goes, what are all these extra parts for? The guy goes, oh, those are spare parts. Meanwhile, Johnny's in the ditch with a broke leg because the front tire come off the bicycle. Okay? Guys don't need directions. We're visual learners. Visuals or videos? Click on that, and you got what? Video. There it is. Okay?
For example, prime factorization by branching. Right.
I do not use the tree diagram. So I would hesitate on doing any work in front of me because sometimes their ways are a little bit more confusing. Okay? Textbook. Let's say you don't have a textbook. You don't have a textbook and you don't have it printed out, you might want to go and look for what the book says. And instead of having to fiddle around and try to find it, you just hit, no more sneezing in class. You hit textbook and it'll take you right to that part. So textbook, you put out beside it, show me where it is in the textbook. That's all it does. Sometimes it takes a second to initially do it, but after you do it one time, it'll go right to it. And plus, I cleared the history, so that's another reason. There it goes. And it takes you right to the page and the paragraph where this is introduced in the book. Okay? Now, the number one, let me go talk about print. Print is for some of those people that just like to work with paper and pencil. And that's nothing wrong with that. You're just going to use it. It's going to kill a lot of trees, and you're going to offend 500,000 people because you're killing trees. But anyway, it prints out the page. You can do it on paper and pencil, and then you type in the answer. Okay, so that's self-explanatory. Now, the number one, this is my button right here. Let's say that you've gone through and you've done everything. You've done help me solve this, you've done view an example, you've done video, and nothing helps. Last resort, ask my instructor. You don't even have to send a message. You can just say, Hubert, you suck. Okay? Oh. Now, the reason I put that, and to make it a little bit funny, the reason I did that, and then I'm going to put, because I want you to see that it's real time. I'm sending this at 8:21. Now, the last class, it didn't work so well, because I don't know if Mylab Plus is running slow or Tri-County is running slow, but it didn't send it. It usually sends it just like that. So let's see what happens. And that doesn't look good because usually it'd been gone. It'd be gone by now. So it's going to take forever to send. Anyway, I'm going to close this out, and it will send the question to me. Then when I pull up next class, your class will be what, Friday? Friday's class comes up. I go to my account, and I pull up my email, and it should be in the 155 folder, which I down here. Well, it's running slow, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, eventually it will iron itself out, but it'll show up here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Here's from last semester, hopefully. There we go. There's some from last semester. It looks like this. I pull it up, and there's the link, and I go right to it. Boom. So I don't have to ask you what page it's on, what section it's on, what homework problem is it, and I don't have to go through and try to find it. Okay? Now, the Ask My Instructor, it actually, that bothers me. That bothers me. Anyway, evidently, I think the student just enrolled. I think he just enrolled, so I need to send him the handouts. So he's legitimate. That's a legitimate question. The Ask My Instructor feature, I lost it. Okay, let me go back and pull up a question. This button dictates how fast the class goes. Why? Why does the Ask My Instructor button dictate how fast the class goes?
If we don't have questions, we know it.
Exactly. If you don't, let me tell you how this goes. Let's say that I just went over 5.1 today. Boom, I'm done. Okay? Then how long should you take to do the homework? You should have 5.1 without questions. You should have 5.1 done before Friday. And you should have sent me questions on 5.1. Now, is that very important? Yes. Because when I get to 5.6, what's after 5.6? What does your outline say? What's after 5.6? I'm sorry, 10.1. What's after 10.1?
The test.
Test. Okay, so the next class meeting, I want to go over 10.1 questions, and then we're going to do a test. If you're doing 5.1 material and you send me a question when I'm doing 10.1, I'm going to ignore it Because the students that are doing what they're supposed to, I'm answering their questions on 10.1. So if you're a procrastinator, that's not going to work in here. When I finish 5.1 material, I'm going to say, okay, y'all should go home and work on 5.1 because I'm done. Then you go home and you have till Friday, not to have it finished, but to have worked on it and to have sent me what? Questions. 5.2, when I finish 5.2, you have until the next meeting. Now notice, I said when I finish 5.2. When I finish 5.2, I will say, I am finished with 5.2, you need to work on the homework. Until I say that, or until you know that I'm finished, and I say, okay, let's move to 5.3. Until I either say I'm finished with 5.2, or let's go start 5.3, if I don't say one of those two things, I usually do, okay? So you will know, okay, I've got to have 5.2 done by Friday. Or I got to have 5.3 done by Tuesday. Or I got to have 5.3 done by Monday. Okay, everybody with that? If you procrastinate, that's going to cause problems for who? You and me. Okay? And I really think that technically 2 days, if you count the hours between the time you leave my class and the next time you meet my class, you've got enough time to do 15 or 20 questions, or attempt to do 15 or 20 questions and send questions to me. You have time for that. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that I'm the only class. I realize you're taking other classes. I didn't say finish the homework. I said attempt and send questions. Okay? Because that's what gauges the speed of the class. Anybody have questions? Now, don't ask any questions about due dates yet. Don't do that, because I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Okay? Does anybody have a question about these features? They're not on every single question. If you go back to the homework, see, not that one. I don't like that one. Let me close this. Okay. Hold on. You see these little icons beside this? Mylab Plus is running really slow. I'm not used to it running this slow. Okay. All right. You see these little icons? If you see these icons, that means it has the visual with it. This one, 33, all it's got is help me solve this, view an example, textbook, and ask my instructor. If it has an icon beside it, that means it's got some visual learning with it. Capiche? I'm not Italian, so I just like that word. Believe you me, you know what I am? Can anybody guess what I am?
Scottish.
I'm 100%, well, I've got a lot of Scottish and Irish in me. A lot of people say you're kidding me. No, I don't have red hair and fair skin. There's a thing called Black Irish. Look it up. I'm not making it up. It's Black Irish. Dang old black hair and brown eyes.
Carolina or Scottish.
I'm Irish and Cherokee.
It is. You can Google it. That's an actual term, Black Irish.
It is an actual term.
Yeah.
That's what he's
And I'm not Espanola, and I'm not Italian, okay? All right. Now, where are we now? Test. Let's go in and make y'all a test. Oh, he's going to show us the test? Yeah, I'm going to show you the test. And it's going to be the exact same test, right? No. Not stupid. Yeah, I'm going to give y'all the exact same test. Y'all memorize it. Y'all think I'm crazy.
Well,
Sometimes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how I make my test. As soon as I load this test up for y'all. Let's go here, test. I'm going to make the Unit 1 test assign. And settings for class. And today, what's today? Today is what?
the 21st.
August the 21st. And what time is this class over?
12:10.
12:10. August 21st at 12:30. 12:10. I guarantee you somebody's out there going, oh gosh, we gotta have a test turned in by 12. I guarantee you somebody's thinking that. I want to do 12:30. There we go. 12:30 p.m. Now we're going to talk about the test now. When I give you a test, when I make the test, I pull 10 problems. Let's say you have 10 questions on the test. Each one of those questions can have 15 to 20 questions to pull from. So, and I randomize and I also algorithmically generate, which means it changes the numbers in each question. So what's the chance of you getting the same test as I showed you? Very, very small. What's the chance of you getting the same test as the person sitting beside you in a computer lab? Very, very low probability. They're not going to be the same. Okay? So with that being said, the test will be under assignments. You click on it. Right there. Unit 1 test. Let's look at some things that are being told right here. The due date will be right here. Now, how do I do this? Well, we go over the test in class after we finish 10.1 or after we finish the last section. So is that outline important again?
That's there.
Yes. The outline is very important. Now, if y'all are working, don't click on this test easily. I see y'all are on laptops. Do not click on this test because I don't want you to, don't do that, okay? I go over the test in class. All right, now I want everybody to listen to this. Is everybody listening? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As soon as I finish with the test in class, I put the due date up. Does everybody understand that? When we finish going over the test, I'll say, okay, let's set the due date, and I'll set the due date. As soon as I set the due date for the test, then I set the due date for what? The homework. The homework due date will usually be the class after I set the test, I start the test. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I start the test today. Okay? Today, I will cut off the homework midnight Friday. Why? Why will I cut the homework off after the test starts?
So you can study.
Come on. I don't speak mumble and whisper. Somebody said something easily, and somebody whispered something here.
So you can
Well,
focus on studying.
I give you time after the test. Why? Because I want you to have one more class to send in what? Homework questions. That's why. I give every class one more class meeting after the test starts to turn it in. So if I start the test today, which I'm not, so hammies don't have a cow. If I start the test today and we review the test today, then I'm going to make all the homework for Unit 1 due Friday, midnight. If we go over the test Friday, then I'm going to make all the test homework due on what? Monday, which will give you one more day, technically. Okay? So that's how I do the due dates. Either way, where is the due dates to be found? In the first column, right there. So therefore, you don't have to ask me what? When's the due date? Because if you look at me, if you ask me that question, I will say I have no idea. So let's click on the test. Oh, look here. What is this? Let's go up here. Time limit. 90 minutes. So that takes care of what?
Cheating.
How long do I have to take the test? So what does Mylab Plus tell you? It tells you when the due date is. It tells you how many minutes you have to take the test. And it tells you how many times you got to take it. You got 3 chances. You got a week to take the test. Everybody got that? A week. So your 5-day funerals and your 6 flat tires and all the excuses that y'all have are null and what? Void. Because you have a whole week to take the test. Well, what if lightning strikes your house? Well, you have 2 more attempts. That's what the 3 attempts is for. Why? Because some of y'all, when I say y'all, I don't mean easily in here, I mean students in general, y'all decide to take the test while there's a hurricane, lightning storm, tornado, ice storm, and snowstorm going on outside your house all at one time. So if you decide to take a test that's very important in the middle of a lightning storm, and lightning strikes your house like it should, you know, if you're trying to take a test, then you have what? 2 more attempts. So you don't have to email me and say, oh, well, I was taking a test during a lightning storm last night, and it took one of my attempts. Yeah? Well, I'm being punished. You should be taking a dadgum test in the middle of a lightning storm. Y'all, I ain't kidding you. Some of these people, and they don't think it's raining at my house. What do you think it's doing at my house when it's doing it if you live in Anderson? Chances are, I'm going to remember if there was a lightning storm last night. You call me today in the morning and say, yeah, my computer cut off last night. Was it because of the lightning storm? Well, yeah. You got 2 more attempts. You better make it good. Oh, these people. Okay, so and then, even if you don't look at all these things that it's given to you, guess what? As soon as you click on it, it tells you again. I love this part. Because if you call me up and say, during a test, when's the test due? I don't know what to say to you. Okay? Because there it is right there, the second one. And then, so how many attempts do we have? And of course, I've got 28 minutes left because I ain't got much time in these Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. We used to have Tuesday and Thursday classes, and it worked real well. But at Tri-County Tech, when something ain't broke, you fix it. So if something's working really well, you change it. All right, start test. Now you're ready to start the test. No lightning storms, no tornadoes, no hurricane, no sharknadoes, none of that. No tidal wave zombie tidal waves, nothing like that. Any sci-fi fans in here? I love sci-fi cheesy movies. They're great. All right, there's the test. Math question. I'm not going to do the math because we haven't done it yet. I'm going to show you what it looks like. How many do we have? 36. Oh, let me tell you about the 3 attempts. Write this down. This is a bonus question on your test. How does Hubert count the 3 times you take the test? Does he average them together, or does he take the highest grade? I take the highest grade. So write that down. At the end of the semester, one of you is going to ask that question on the final exam. Nope, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change horses in midstream. I'm going to take the highest grade for the whole semester, and then I'm going to change right there to the end of the semester. Next question. There's another question. My goodness, look at there. Does Hubert replace your lowest grade with your final exam grade? What's the only possible answer?
Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. This question, I told you that 5 or 6 questions come from the handouts. The other 5 or 6 questions come from DA students at the end of the semester. Okay? I did have a handout that said things that Hubert doesn't do, and I quit doing it because I started putting them in forms of questions. So on each test, you're going to have this question. At the end of the semester, last semester, I had 2 students tell me that they thought I replaced the lowest grade with the final exam. I know, they just said that. They just lied. They just wanted me to replace their lowest grade with the final, and I wanted to do it. But instead of saying, Hubert, would you please work with me on my grade? They thought they would lie and say, I thought that question said, no, you didn't. You answered it each time right. No way, no how. I can go back and look at your test. Anyway, next question.
After you're done with, like, let's say you skip a question, you go back, you can
go back. Yeah, that's what that arrow there is for. Yes. Okay. This is one of the most missed questions.
see.
What is Hubert? Yes, ma'am. Easily.
And when we take our test, will any of the definitions that's on each chapter that's highlighted, will they be included in the test, or is it just going to be strictly,
All
are you
math. All math. 100% math, except for the bonus questions.
Okay.
And see, these bonus questions, even if you're non-sentient, you should be able to make a 40 on my test.
Okay.
Non-sentient means you don't know what's going on, but you at least read the handouts. You should be able to make a 40 on each one of my tests. That's what we're fixing to do. I'm going to answer all the bonus questions and show you what you make without even knowing any math whatsoever. So, which one is the correct answer? C. Next, math question. Scientific notation, that's in 5.5 or 5.6. In your grade book, to find, this is a dumb question at the end of the semester I get. In your grade book, to find your final grade after you have completed all your assignments, which button should you choose in grade book? It should say grade. Oh, it says in your grade book.
C.
Which one?
C.
C. I have students that call me at the end of the semester and ask me, where do I find my grade?
Lord have mercy.
Okay.
And they have driver's licenses and they procreate.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to be on live PD one day. When is the last day of class for this semester? Well, this semester it'll say Tuesday, December what? 3rd. That comes from your academic calendar. That's one of the questions I told you about. Tuesday, December 3rd. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, meaning a challenge question, okay? Let's say that, I can't remember y'all's names that easily that well. Somebody give me one of your last names.
Banner.
What'd she say?
Banner.
Banner?
Banner.
Spell it.
B-A-N-N-E-R.
Banter. Okay. Banner or Banter? Miss Banter decides to, she puts 1/2 on a test, 1/2. And she gets it wrong because she was supposed to put 0.5. The directions did not say put a decimal. It said, you have 30 dogs and 15 of them are German Shepherds. What is the ratio, or what is the answer? And she put 1/2. And the directions didn't specify whether it needed. That's a challenge question. So, if you have a challenge question on a test, what should you do?
B.
Call Hubert's office 5 or 6 times. Ask Hubert if you can meet with him after class. This is the one I love. Send several emails to Hubert with the last one saying, hello. Scream and throw a temper tantrum. That has happened. B.
I'm going to say you hello.
Hello. That's a math question. It's a word problem, but it ain't that big a deal. It's 5.6. That's 5.1. If you have incomplete assignments, this is from the chick that said she didn't know that zeros would bring down your grade. Y'all believe that? 12 years of 12 years of school, and you missed an assignment and you don't know that 0. Yeah, I'm that stupid. Yeah. She thinks I'm going to fall for it.
I think it's because in high school, like, if they have a 0 and they don't do it, they bring it up to like a 50.
What?
I think
Yeah, they
Westside does. I think Westside does that.
Yes, they do
I
that.
think Westside, if
You
have
cannot
a
have a 50
grade,
in the grade book anymore.
It's like some.
I think if
public
your
high
grade,
school.
your final grade is below 50, they bump it up to a 50.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to have like a no kid.
What the heck?
Yeah, what they told us is you're not allowed to have a 0 in the grade book, so they put a 50 there instead. So
So
basically,
everybody gets a trophy.
That's why they ask you that.
Everybody gets a trophy. That's what's wrong with the United States right now. That's one of the problems.
basically,
What the
it's impossible to fail a class.
Okay, please don't say anymore because that's just going to get me upset. Please don't. I don't want to. I need to go home and meditate again. Oh my God. What will, I ain't believing that. I cannot believe that you,
Does it? Liberty does it.
all right, anyway, what does a 0 do to your grade? Let's just go old school. What does a 0 do to your grade?
Brings it down.
Thank you. No wonder she didn't know. When should a student, what should a student do if something happens? This is for the student that went on a cruise. She had to make sure that she told me she went on, not vacation. I had to go on a cruise. I had to. That's what she said.
Me too.
And she said,
I wish I had to go on.
we didn't have wireless
On the beach in September.
and what, and she contacted me. You know when she contacted me? After 1 week after grade turn in. So I'd already turned in a grade for her. She made a C in the class, and she had a 0 for one of her tests. So she decides to call me after 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay, Mr. with the yellow shirt. What's your last name?
Lovell?
Mr. Lovell, like the astronaut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Lovell, I can remember that. Mr. Lovell, where do you work?
Academy?
Academy Sports Place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have to go on a cruise, okay? So, you know, you don't want to go on it. You have to, okay? Do you call them before you leave?
Yeah, I gotta let them know 2 weeks ahead.
Wait a minute. You've got to. Why? Why don't you just go on a cruise?
Because I like my job.
So what would happen if you just went on a cruise and you didn't tell your supervisor?
I'll get fired.
Oh my gosh, you didn't get a trophy.
I know. Dadgummit.
Now, a lot of you are laughing, and why? Who am I in this classroom?
The instructor?
I'm your employer,
Yeah.
okay? What happens if you don't tell me you're going? Now, if she had told me she was going on a cruise, I'm sorry, that she had to go on a cruise, okay? Then I would have said, okay, take it before, or I will reschedule it and you can take it after. I would have done that, no problem. But she didn't tell me. So she got a 0, and here comes helicopter mom.
Oh my gosh.
Calling my boss. My boss just chuckled because she knows that I give y'all what? A week to take all my classes. And she disagrees with me. But she knows why I do it, because you don't have a leg to stand on. If you can't do a test within 7 days, there's other issues beside mathematics. Okay? So what do? You communicate. I will take C because in case you don't do what you're supposed to and things don't go your way, you don't blame yourself, you blame the Russians. So I will take that as an answer.
Thing comes.
When does the homework terminate? Well, the only possible answer is toward the end of the unit. That's a handout question. I used to put that on a handout, but I want students to read I need to look at the outline. That's what I need to put, but I haven't changed it. Okay, here is the second most missed question besides my phone number and email. Anybody want to tell me what is the only correct answer?
A.
A. Why is it not D?
They're not all.
It doesn't equal 100.
Yeah.
And there's a math question. There's a math question. There's a math question. There's a math question. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, attempt A, attempt B, attempt C, how do I count it?
B.
B is in Bravo. I got an email from one student. If I made a 98 on the first attempt, do I need to take the other 2 attempts? Did I reply?
No.
Hail to the no. Because what happens if you take the first test and you make a 98 and you don't take the other test? What grade is given if you don't take the other 2?
The 9.
0.
Well,
0.
and then
98, you got a 98, a 0, and a 0. What am I going to take?
a 98.
If a student does not complete a homework assignment or test, what will be recorded for that assignment? That was another one for that check. When is the week of finals? It will be December the 4th through the what? 10th.
Definitely do.
Write that down. That's a handout.
It's what now?
December the 4th through the 10th.
December the 4th through the 10th. It's on your academic calendar handout. Math, math, math. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened? D, I will take D, but C is the answer. Math, math, math. Which branch did I serve in? The only one with United States in front of it, and it's the only one that's on my information card.
That'll be easy to remember.
If you put A, I will automatically fail you. Will not have a chance in hell of passing. No, I'm just kidding.
You misspelled
It's
share
tough.
force.
Math,
Not really.
although covered in my handouts and the first day of class by Hubert, what is the best way to communicate with Hubert?
Through email.
B, his cell phone, text or call. I was supposed to put email on that.
I was wondering, I was like, I saw email on C.
Yeah, I need to change that one, but you need to read all of them. Why does Hubert not entertain extra credit, extra points, dropping any grades during the last week of the semester?
B.
Because he wants me to fail and live in a ditch.
A.
A. And math. Now, the whole point of this, if you don't know any math whatsoever, you can still make a 45 on my test. So, and like I say, half is math, half is bonus questions. Okay. All right, now with that, the only other thing, when's class over? Already over?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll go over some more. Let me shut off the recording and do